Welcome.
Good evening.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, man.
It's October 8th.
Thursday.
Surprise.
Yeah. And this is episode number 6, Kyle. Episode number 6.
This is number 6.
Holy moly.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
We
That's
should
a whole
get
month and a half.
Yeah. I'll bet you most YouTube shows never get past episode 5. So we're probably breaking some trends.
I think there was a study on that.
Yeah.
By Trump University or something.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Those diplomas are worth these days. Got my Trump to believe.
Well, if you're out of toilet paper.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right. We got a fun show.
Yeah, man. We got some cool stuff coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a little Crazy Eights again. We've got a cool theme that might run through the whole show. We got lots and lots of news that was happening this past week.
Every
of course.
week, man. It feels like there's just a month of news every week.
Holy moly. I know. It's all like squeezed into a little tiny week worth of filter there.
Yeah, and the reason we're filming on Thursday this week is due to my daughter's soccer practice every other Wednesday.
Good for her, man.
Yeah, right?
Played soccer for a lot of years. Loved it as a kid. It's a great sport.
Mm-hmm. Great for team building and exercise.
A lot of running.
Yeah.
A lot of running. Back and forth.
Indeed. I'm wearing my fancy hat again. You know, I got it. I figured it's going to be my maitre d' hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that mythical Dunce Games restaurant of ours.
Yes, yeah. We have head chefs and maitre d's.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about, obviously, the news, a little bit about some funny news again. I got a few funky stories.
Good. Got to keep it light.
Indeed.
After going heavy.
It is. It's hard to balance these things sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? We got a little update on our Access and Allies game we started playing.
We did.
And so we're going to take you guys through the first couple rounds of World War II Revisited.
Awesomely fun.
Indeed.
And you probably have an update on, if you notice, we won't have a whiskey tonight because it's sober October.
Yep, I will share my progress with this personal challenge with all of you at home. And there's a mystery, too. It's always mysteries always make things good.
Do I need my Scooby-Doo detective kit?
You might, but I'm not going to reveal the answer until after October.
Oh, zoinks. Okay.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Indeed. What else we got? We got a little company update. You mentioned Crazy Eights. We got Philosophical Corner coming back.
Philosophical Corner.
Indeed.
Coming at you.
Yeah.
And, Kyle, one thing that happened this week, which was very interesting, is not to be outdone by the Obama and Trump voicemails that we got. We got yet another voicemail from a sort of famous person, which was interesting. And we love it, man. Keep calling in. All you celebrities and famous people and dignitaries. Yeah. We love it, man. Keep calling in. Should we play it?
I think we should.
Okay.
Let's play it for the people.
Let's play it. Enjoy it.
Hello. No one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
I watched your video. It got a standing ovation from Democrats and Republicans, literally.
I was recently at my local gas station, asked a guy named Joey Danko, I said, Joey, how much it cost to fill your tank?
What are you going to do to make sure my kid stays away from drugs? Since I've never been called a man of few words, let me say it as simply as I can. Yes. Yeah.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent.
May God bless all of you, and most of all for both of us.
Well, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was kind of a rambling train of thought there, but we appreciate it, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President.
Thanks, Joe. Keep them kids off drugs.
Keep those kids off drugs.
I agree with you.
And figure out what it cost your friend to pay for gas.
Maybe the Republicans have some meat behind their "he's not all mentally sound" claim, leaving voicemails like that. I knew our show was popular, but I didn't realize it was that popular.
Yeah, most powerful people in the world are calling in.
Yeah.
Games. So call in yourselves or leave a comment or send us an email.
So we call him Vice President Joe Biden.
We do, yeah.
Even though he's not currently a vice president.
Not currently,
But the title sticks with you for life.
You get the title for life.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
the highest title. So I guess
Yeah.
if he was, knighted by the Queen or
Oh.
something, I don't know if he'd be Sir Vice President
Hmm.
Biden.
Yeah, because Obama's always president.
Yeah, he'll
Clinton's
always be president.
Yeah.
And Trump will always be president until he's
Oh.
inmate number
Yes.
67042.
Maybe a felony takes that designation away.
don't
It's like
know.
you can't buy a gun and you can't
I
be
mean,
president
Nixon was always
anymore.
President Nixon,
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
He didn't get indicted for anything because he got pardoned. but-
Yeah. Speaking of vice presidents, though,
Yes.
did you watch the debate?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Who? Pence against Harris.
Pence against Harris.
Vice presidential debate.
Different style.
Yeah.
But kind of some of the same stuff, Pence went on and on, wouldn't shut up, wouldn't, follow the timing boundaries.
Didn't
that
really
he
answer the
promised.
questions either.
Never answered
Yeah.
the question he was
Kept
asked.
talking about whatever
But,
he wanted.
so I gave them each a grade. I gave
Yeah?
Pence kind of a C,
Okay.
C plus,
Uh-huh.
because he scored a couple of good hits. And I gave Kamala, a solid B grade.
Yeah.
There's a couple things I think she could have done better on. One of the things they keep hammering on is if they get elected, is Biden going to load the Supreme Court, right?
Oh,
and they
yeah.
keep hitting that. They want
Yeah.
him to say yes or no.
Yeah.
And all that she had to say, all that Biden has to say is, we have no plans to do that right now. Let us get elected.
Yeah,
and
where's
we'll
the
see where we're at."
politicking? Yeah.
That's all you have to say.
Yeah.
Instead of evading the question, and
Yeah.
then it shuts him up and nothing. And then the big news,
Oh.
the star of the show
Yes, there was an uninvited guest.
was the fly, right? Landed on Pence's head and stayed there for
It was
quite a
a while.
while.
Yeah.
Several minutes, I think. I mean, enough time that the wife and I were on the couch watching it, and it landed, and we were laughing about it. It's
Yeah.
not moving. We had to call our daughter to come running from upstairs to come
To
see
see
it,
it
and it was
fly?
still there when she got up there, and we were all joking about it. So,
That is wild.
yeah, lots of memes. I'm sure you've seen them.
Yeah.
Biden campaign did a Biden
Such a
fly
good
swatter
Such a good
right
idea.
off the bat, and it sold out in
I
hours.
wish I had one.
Yeah.
That would
It'd be funny.
wonderful.
It'd be kind of one of the things that you keep from the.
Yes.
Remember back when, kids?
Open
This
up the
was-
time capsule from
Can you
2020.
imagine that though?
Fly swatter.
It's 2080 and people are opening that time capsule and they're trying to figure out what politicking was like 60 years ago or whatever, and they pull out the Biden fly swatter. It's like, what in the f is this? Right? Just
There's got to be some silly stuff from like the 50s and 60s that
there
maybe
probably
we
is,
just don't
yeah.
know about.
Yeah,
That's kind of a thing.
yeah. I mean, there's always buttons and stuff like that, but
Yes.
buttons and bumper stickers. That was kind of all.
I heard Pence's eye got really red too.
Yeah, there was some
Like,
weird
it's
thing
really
going
something
on
like
with his
that.
eye.
Yeah.
And the fly. I mean, it just, of course,
Bizarre.
the Trump campaign claimed they won.
Hmm.
Biden campaign claimed they won. I think most of the polls show a slight edge for
Kamala.
Senator Harris.
Senator.
And
I really liked her expressions. Like her eye rolls and her like.
her little laughs
Disbelief.
and
Yeah.
smiles and and
Yeah.
she gave him that mom look, right? That,
Yeah, come on now.
what did you say that? I can't do it because I'm not a mom, but man, interesting debate, totally different style from the first
It was.
one. Have you heard on the plan from the Presidential Commission on Debates? It wants to do the next presidential one that I think is supposed to be next week.
Yeah, Thursday.
They want to do it virtually.
Oh.
And Trump's already come out and said, no, wait, if it's going to be virtual, I don't want to do it. If it's not in person, I don't want to do it. So I don't know what's going to happen. These debates, Biden's about 9.5 points nationally on average ahead of him in the polls. These debates seem to be the only thing that Trump really has right now that he can make up some ground on that. And
Well, there was
he's gotta
talk
do
of
it.
Biden not doing the debates just because it could only hurt him. Like,
Yeah.
why would Biden?
Why would you bother doing
Yeah.
it if you can get out of it? So
Yeah.
that brings us to another point is Kyle.
Yeah,
What person is supposed to be the safest person in the world?
the safest person.
Who's supposed to be the safest person in the world?
My guess would be the guy with the nuclear bomb options.
Right. And along with that, who's supposed to have the best health care in the world?
Our elected officials.
Right. So, I mean, that all points to Trump, right?
Yeah.
And that guy tested positive for COVID-19.
Wait. Well, Trump did. You mean the nuke bomb guy?
The nuke bomb guy
Oh.
tested positive for coronavirus.
I guess he's following Trump around all the time, right?
Oh, I'm
So-
talking about Trump.
Oh,
I'm talking
okay,
about
okay.
Trump. I'm talking about his wife. I'm talking about his campaign manager.
All those people.
I'm talking about his spokesperson. I'm talking about his Kellyanne Conway, one of his senior advisors. I'm talking about
Jeez.
the chair of the Republican National Committee.
And those folks
I'm
ain't-
talking about 3 Republican senators. I mean, they're saying about 24 people at this point have been infected that are in the Trump orbit.
Wow.
Right? And
Do we know if any of them are actually like hospitalized sick yet? I mean, that's
well,
gotta be the next.
Chris Christie has been in the hospital
Ooh,
for 5 days.
yeah, he
was
is
one of the ones. And
very
he-
risky with COVID.
yeah, I mean, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
I love our big dudes. I'm one of them, but he's a big dude.
No, he's in a whole
He's a
other
big
league. yeah.
Yeah, so I worry about what the health effects on
Yeah.
him are going to be. So
Yeah. And he was a presidential hopeful at one point.
he was,
briefly.
and then he
yeah.
kind of fell into the Trump train.
Yeah.
And he's been there for a while. He was the one doing debate prep. He and Rudy Giuliani were doing debate prep with
Okay.
Trump. And that's where they think he
Wow.
might have caught it, either there at that big Rose Garden
Yeah.
party that
Well,
they had.
Trump's just saying he's fine. Like that's most of the news
Yeah,
I've seen. He
I'm
keeps saying,
fine.
I'm fine. I've never been
Fine.
healthier. Healthiest in 20 years.
I've never felt this good in 20 years.
Yeah.
I can't do a Trump. I wish I could do a Trump accent.
But he's all about still getting out in front of people and wants to go debate in person. Like he doesn't give a crap. He probably wants to spread
Yeah.
his COVID.
Let's go.
Spread his COVID
Because
around.
he actually came out and said it's not that dangerous. It's actually not that bad, everybody. It's not bad. It's killed 210,000
Yeah.
people in this country alone. 2 million people have become infected with it. It's not that bad. Don't worry about it. Take it from me.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's
Go to a
been,
COVID party.
like I said, got the greatest health care the president does. He's got like
Mhm.
10 doctors attending him.
Yeah.
He's got a private hospital room in the White House. He can get airlifted to one of the best hospitals in the world.
Yeah.
In Walter Reed. He's got experimental drugs that they're giving him.
Personal chefs.
antibiotics, personal chef. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, if everybody had it that good, then yeah, let's all get COVID and
Right.
call it done. But
Jeez.
can you even get in to see the doctor at this point? You know?
Yeah. Well, and I gotta worry about like his inner circle, right? Like the Secret Service guys and the press people.
Yeah.
Like they're all supposed to be around the president,
Right.
and I wouldn't want to be within, the same room as the
Yeah,
president
one of his
right now.
valets got it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so now, the White House employs 100 people, maybe more,
Mhm.
that do cleaning and their cooks
Yeah.
and their servants and their,
Mhm.
laundry and whatever else, and they've got to be around that. I mean,
Yeah.
And this guy's just probably huffing and puffing through the White
Yeah.
House. Just imagine him going down the hall,
Shaking hands.
shake my hand, just a big, Stay Puft
Jeez.
COVID guy,
Yeah.
So,
Well, I have a political question for you.
okay, I got political answers.
All right. So, if things happen like the pollsters say they'll happen,
Okay.
we could potentially have a Democratic presidency,
Mm-hmm.
a Democratic Senate, and a
Correct.
Democratic House.
Yeah, that would be a full sweep.
Yeah, that probably hasn't happened in a while, huh?
It hasn't happened in a little while.
In a
I mean,
little
the
while?
Republicans had Trump's first 2 years of this term. He had all
That's
three.
right. Yeah,
So,
that's right.
Obama had it for his first 2 years back in
Okay.
2008,
Mm-hmm.
but then he lost it and never had it again. So,
Yeah, because they blocked his Supreme Court
yeah,
nominee
yeah,
in the Senate.
right.
But that's like a conducive to getting things done government.
Yeah, if you don't control all three, House, Senate, and presidency, you really can't get anything done, either party, because
They can
they're
just
just
block it.
blocking everything.
Yeah,
So, and we'll see what happens with the judiciary at this point, stacking the courts, because
Yeah.
even if if the Democrats have all three of those, if the
Mhm.
judiciary just rules everything unconstitutional, anything they try to do will just,
Do you have any thoughts on if the Democrats should give Guam and some other folks statehood and
I have no-
stack the Supreme Court?
I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah.
I think Puerto Rico's earned it.
Yeah.
I don't know about Washington DC. That's kind of a different one for me. It would give them 2 senators and a congressperson.
Okay.
But Puerto Rico, Guam, I'd have to do a little bit more research in to see that. But stacking the Supreme Court, there's nothing constitutional that says that they have to have 9 justices, and
Yep.
and it's rotates up and down through the years.
Mhm.
There's been 10 at one point. There's been less than 9 for a while.
Yeah.
There's nothing that says they have to have that.
And the Republicans are saying it's by the book, it's in the Constitution. The president needs to do this, so we can follow the rules.
Yeah. And if they get the mandate and take all three, House, Senate, and presidency, isn't that what the Republicans are saying? Oh, the voters gave them the mandate to do it.
Yeah,
So
totally.
block it and to force people through. So,
Yeah.
Kyle, I think we gotta take a little break.
All right. Well, why don't we take him into Philosopher's Corner here?
Let's do that.
Yeah, a little bit of Stoic philosophy and a little bit about a ruler who ruled during a pandemic.
Speaking of politicians.
Yes, enjoy.
Hello there, and welcome to another installment of Philosopher's Corner. Kyle McCurdy here. It's Wednesday, October 8th, 2020, and I'm drinking tea. Cheers, because it's sober October. I haven't had a drink since November. Where am I going, people? I haven't had a drink since September 30th, which you saw if you watched our latest episode, the last day of booze for a month. Well, tonight I have some notes, and what I'd like to talk with you about is a particular philosophy and a particular person, a Roman emperor actually, and a philosophy that is considered to be his philosophy. Well, not his, but he was a major embodiment and contributor to this school of thought. So let's start with a quote from the man himself, the Roman emperor. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I will deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and I have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own, not of the same blood or birth, but of the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor from 161 to 180, and is known as the Philosopher King and the last of the 5 good emperors of Rome. He was the single most powerful person on earth while he lived, and a Stoic philosopher. Let me read you another quote from the historian Herodian. Alone in the emperors, he gave proof of his learning, not be mere words of knowledge of philosophical doctrines, but by his blameless character and temperate way of life. His legacy is tragic because the emperor's Stoic philosophy, which is about self-restraint, duty, respect for others, it was so abjectly abandoned by the imperial line that he anointed on his death. So, what is Stoic philosophy? Well, the general reaction to the word Stoic is someone who negates emotions and feelings, downplays pleasure and pain, someone like a Spock from Star Trek, if you will. All logic and reason, no emotional feelings, or at least try to tamp all those down. And this is a bit overblown. It's a bit of an extreme. That's not actually what Stoicism is about, though there are elements of leaning on logic and reason as your primary decision-making tool. Stoicism is a tool in the pursuit of self-mastery, perseverance, and wisdom, and has long been popular with a lot of famous people that I know you've heard of. Notable Stoics include George Washington, Walt Whitman, Frederick the Great, Immanuel Kant, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Ralph Waldo Emerson. Stoicism is generally known to have 4 primary virtues, and they are courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. And to me, one of the key one of the key practices of Stoicism, if you will, is differentiating between what you can control and what you cannot. And asking yourself that question all the time, every day. If we keep wasting time trying to affect things we can't control, we're wasting effort and wasting energy that could be spent on things we can control. So if you take one thing from this philosophical corner tonight, I urge it to be that. Spend time reflecting in your life on what you can control and what you cannot, and put your time and energy into the things that you can control. Back to the Roman Emperor, Marcus Aurelius. During his reign, Marcus ruled over many conflicts. There were wars with the Germanic peoples and the Parthians that he oversaw. He was emperor during the Antonian Plague as well, which decimated the Roman population and killed over 5 million people globally, we estimate. While on campaign against some invaders, in the last 10 years of his life, Marcus wrote what we know today as his landmark book, Meditations. This was written as maxims and notes to himself, reminders, if you will, to help him live a good life and be reminded of what's actually important in the world. It was not meant to actually be published into a book. The oldest known manuscript of this text that we have is from the 14th century. And as we continue, allow me to read you one more quote from Marcus Aurelius. Here in my notes somewhere. Words that everyone once used are now obsolete, and so are the men whose names were once on everyone's lips. Camillus, Cato, Volosus, Donatus, and to a lesser degree, Scipio and Cato, and yes, even Augustus, Hadrian, and Antonius are less spoken now than they were in their own days, for all things fade away. They become stuff of legend and are soon buried in oblivion. Mind you, this is only true for those who blazed once like bright stars in the firmament. But for the rest of us, as soon as a few clods of earth cover our corpses, we are out of sight, out of mind. In the end, what would you gain from everlasting remembrance? Absolutely nothing. So what's left worth living for? This alone: justice in thought, goodness in action, speech that cannot deceive, and a disposition glad of whatever comes, welcoming it as necessary, as familiar, as flowing from the same source and fountain as yourself. Think about that for a moment. There have been many famous Stoics over the years, in ancient times and current times. Some other famous ancient Stoics include Seneca and Zeno. And in modern times, Stoicism is becoming very popular in a lot of the tech companies. We have authors like Ryan Holiday publishing entire books about a Stoic way of thinking. And so I'll close with a quote from a modern Stoic, Nassim Taleb. A Stoic is someone who transforms fear into prudence, pain into transformation, mistakes into initiation, and desire into undertaking. Now, who wouldn't want more of that in their life? Kyle here from Philosopher's Corner, signing off. Enjoy the show.
All right, welcome back.
Feels like a little new ordery.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Good 80s style.
80s.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we hope you enjoyed Philosopher's Corner.
Yeah, man. Some of that stuff is pretty good ideas to help us get through, all this crazy crap that we're going through right now.
This world.
Yeah.
All right, well,
World.
I've got some fun news for us.
Oh,
Before
nice.
we do, I have a quiz for you, Charles.
Oh, quiz. Okay.
Quiz.
Pop
All right.
quiz, everybody.
In the age of having presidents that are geriatric,
Yes, 78 if
And
Biden wins, and
76,
74 or 75 if,
Yeah.
if Trump continues.
and I'm sure you all heard this in the news, but it makes the vice president a much more meaningful position when you have a president who could very easily die statistically.
Yeah.
So, my question for you is, can you tell us the succession of the president? Obviously, if the president dies, the vice is next.
Right.
What happens if the vice president dies?
Well, Kyle, that would be the Speaker of the House.
Correct.
Would take over from there.
Yeah, and then if the speaker gets offed.
Oh boy. I want to say my two choices, and I know I got to pick one, is either going to be the Secretary of State or the Senate Majority Leader.
Okay.
So I'm going to say the Secretary of State.
It was the Senate Majority Leader.
Oh, it's close.
Well, President pro tempore of the Senate. Yeah.
Yep.
Secretary of State's next.
Okay, so I just had those reversed. Okay.
You know who comes after the Secretary of State?
Oh my goodness! I know it's not the Secretary of Education. I know that. I'm gonna
It's the
guess
Secretary. I'm gonna give you
it's
a
the
hint.
Secretary of Defense.
Correct.
Oh, look at
Correct.
me! Look at me! Look at me!
Yeah, and then if the Secretary of Defense has a heart attack, this is the last one.
Okay.
Who fills in?
Holy moly! We're down to like the fourth or fifth succession, right? Fifth.
This is the
This would be
sixth.
the sixth.
Yeah, the
Okay.
sixth succession.
I'm gonna guess, and this is a pure guess.
All right.
That I have no idea, and I'm gonna say, man, okay, I don't know.
You want a hint?
Is it a secretary?
No,
No. Okay,
not a secretary.
that's what I was gonna guess.
All right.
I was trying to figure out if it was like the Interior Secretary or something like that. Yeah, dude.
They usually go to law school.
Oh,
Maybe. I actually don't know that for a fact, but I assume.
Kyle, I don't know.
All right, it's the Attorney General.
Oh, yes,
The
that makes
Attorney
sense.
General.
Okay, that is a cabinet position. It's not
Yes.
called the secretary, but it is a cabinet position.
Oh,
But that does totally make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that
there's
makes
6
sense on the
design.
way down.
I'm sure we've never gotten to that point.
No,
It's
only on
too-
TV. I think there was
Yeah.
that show with Kiefer Sutherland that was designated survivor.
Oh, okay.
Entire U.S. government except for him and one congresswoman gets
Wiped out.
demolished, and he's the Secretary of Agriculture or something, or Education. And he gets promoted up to president. So,
All right. Well, let me share a few funky news stories.
okay, I like funky.
For you and the people at home.
Yes, let's wash away
All right. So,
with our water.
yes, with our water, since there's no
The bad
whiskey on
news.
this trip.
Wash away the bad news and get to some fun news.
All right. So, this is good news.
Okay.
Australian scientists
Uh-huh.
have put their brains to work and created a seaweed supplement for cows that reduces methane emissions by 80%.
Oh, does it make them fart less?
Apparently, it makes them
Interesting.
fart less.
Because I read a long time ago that cows are second only to automobiles
Yes.
for methane
Yeah.
production
Methane
and
pollution.
ozone layer
Mhm.
depletion.
They
It's interesting.
they just completed 5 years of research and got a procket.
5 years of
Product.
studying cow farts.
Yes, they studied cow farts and cow pooping for 5 years and just got $13 million in funding. The product will be called Asparagopsis. I don't know, Asparagopsis?
What he said.
Asparagopsis.
Man, I would study cow farts for 5 years
For 13
for
million?
13 million. I would,
Yeah.
that one's a little mealy.
Yeah, let's try this other seaweed and let it fart on my face. See if this new blend works.
$13 million at the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, we have another record.
Is that taxed?
Oh,
Never mind.
hope so. Another world record was set
Okay.
this last week.
I remember last week it was the tree hugger.
It was.
Right? The 10 hours.
That's
of
got to
tree
be
hugger.
already beaten, right?
Yeah, I meant to do it this weekend and I forgot I'm going to do it this weekend.
All right. This one is the oldest person to ever skydive.
Oh.
It was this tandem skydive.
Okay.
The oldest human being to ever do it.
This wasn't George H.W. Bush, was it? Because he
Oh.
skydived really late in his life.
Older than that.
Okay.
Older than that. Yes, he did skydive, didn't he? You want to take a stab at the number? It's 3 digits.
It's 3 digits.
3 digits.
I'm going to go 101?
Oh, you 103.
103?
103-year-old man, and he did it on his 100th birthday. And
Okay,
he said,
and-
I'll be back. He did it again when he turned 103.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is tandem, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but he jumped with his great-grandsons.
Wow.
Yeah,
Could you imagine living to 103?
that's a lot of time.
Holy moly.
I mean, 103 years ago was 1917. Women couldn't even vote yet. Like that's how long ago that was.
Yeah.
Or how short ago, if you want to
Yeah.
look at it like that.
Right? In somebody's lifetime.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. All right, last
for him.
one is 2 Oklahoma jail guards are going to do some hard time. They're going to jail themselves for
Okay.
torturing inmates.
Oof.
and the prosecutor wanted a felony but only got a gross misdemeanor.
Okay.
They made inmates listen to Baby Shark over and over again for hours. And they consider that to be torture.
Okay, they may have only got gross misdemeanors, but they're going to hell.
Prison guards going to jail is not
And they're
a
going to
friendly place
hell
to be.
for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is cruel and unusual punishment.
Right?
For sure.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That was
my
wild.
God.
And yeah, that's the funny news I have. You
Okay.
know, not a huge week for
Okay.
odd news.
I did hear that the one that you mentioned last week, the Tyrannosaurus Rex bones,
yeah.
they did sell.
Oh, it did.
I forget what they sold for, but they did sell, so we're out of luck
Dang.
here at the DCG Worldwide
Gotta
headquarters.
act quick.
But you gotta act quick on stuff
No
like that.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, other fun news.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who is now 4-0 in the 2020 football season?
Speaking of owning a fake kitchen, we also got a cook.
We got a little cooking
We
with
got
the
a
Russ.
cooking with Russ.
Yeah, man. Not as on fire as the first few games, but definitely, I think he threw for 2 touchdowns and threw for
It's over 300 yards.
over
right?
300
Yeah,
yards. So
yeah.
did not make the MVP for the week
Guess we
offensive
can't
player.
expect it every
Not
week.
every week, but I think that went to Tom Brady. I think this past week.
I heard he had a good game.
He did have a good
5
game.
touchdowns
Yeah,
or
he threw a lot of
something.
touchdowns, a lot of
Yeah.
passes. But again, 4-0 is the first time since the Super Bowl winning season of
Yeah.
2013. And if they win Sunday against the Vikings, Sunday evening.
And the Vikings aren't that great this year.
I mean, they're above
decent.
average, but
Oh, okay,
not
okay.
maybe not as good as the Seahawks. I think
Uh-huh.
the Seahawks are favored by 7.
Okay.
But it's any given Sunday, right? But if they can do that, they would be 5-0 going into a bye week,
Guys.
and they would be 5-0 for the first time in franchise history.
Well, hey, go Hawks.
And speaking of Russell and the Seahawks, guess what socks I have on today?
What you got?
Oh,
for us today?
check it out,
Oh, these are
Kyle.
your C socks.
These are my sea socks. These are my
Yeah.
Russell Wilson.
Oh, Russell Wilson socks.
Look at that.
That is. Those
Look
are
at that.
nice. That's
That's
a
my
good.
Russ.
That's good graphics.
That's my
Number 3.
that's my
Yeah,
lucky
Russ.
Russell socks.
Yeah.
So we got to win this week. Go 5-0, baby.
One of my
5-0.
one of my clients that I work with by job, make money and stuff.
Yeah. The real work.
They're out in Buffalo, New York. And
Oh,
they were
I'm sorry.
teasing because those Bills are 4-0.
Bills
too.
are 4-0 too.
And so they were hoping for a Buffalo Seattle Super Bowl.
Yeah, we'll kill them.
Yeah.
We'll kill 'em.
Bring us the Bills.
Bring us the Bills. They are doing very well this year, and one of the main reasons is because the Patriots aren't doing very well.
Yeah.
They're kind of they're doing okay, but they're not doing they're not as dominant as they used to be without Tom Brady and the whole gang that's there. So that division is pretty wide open right there, right? The Dolphins, Jets, Bills.
Yeah.
So they should have a really good season.
And that's who we just beat with the Dolphins, right? Isn't that who we
Yeah,
just
last
played?
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. good
Yep,
mind.
and the Dolphins aren't a joke. I mean, they put up
Yeah.
a good fight. It was
Their
good.
quarterback has a hell of a beard. Holy moly. That's pretty
And
fun
he's
to
a
see.
Harvard graduate too, I think.
Oh, he's
right?
a smart
I think
gentleman.
so.
Oh, my goodness.
And then also great Seattle news is in our WNBA, our Seattle Storm here locally won the title again this
Go
year.
Storm!
Yeah, Sue Bird,
Nice.
I think has won the title in 3 different decades, if I'm not mistaken. She's like 40 years old, but she's still a dominant force, and the
Impressive.
Storm have stormed ahead again and won. So congratulations to
Yeah,
them.
congratulations,
Yeah,
Storm.
another
That's-
championship team here in Seattle.
Just wait till them Kraken get on the ice.
Looking forward to that.
Got some years to wait. But
Yeah, what do we got here?
yeah.
The hockey season usually starts about now, right?
Usually they did a weird little season this year.
Yeah,
with
they
COVID.
did. Kind of make up for last year's playoffs and stuff.
What is it? It's usually, is it about now? I know the NHL playoffs are usually about the same time as the basketball
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah.
So,
I think it's
something
right around October.
like that. Yeah.
Not a big NHL guy, never a big hockey because there wasn't much hockey here. We had some
Yeah.
minor league. But I'm looking forward to getting into it with the Kraken coming to
Go
town.
Kraken.
So go Kraken.
All right. Well, let's take him to break.
Yeah, let's take a little break.
And then we'll come back and talk about what's going on in our own lives.
Yeah.
So give you a little Sober October update and
Do
all
it.
that jazz.
Do it.
All right. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So, Charles,
Yes.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling a little older these days.
Are ya?
I am.
Well, I think we need to say happy birthday to you,
Oh,
good sir.
yeah, so everybody
Happy
if you didn't
birthday.
know, I turned the big 4-9.
It is a big one.
It is a big one. This past Sunday.
What'd you guys do?
We hung out and had some delicious Thai food. My son and his girlfriend Daniela came down,
Nice.
and they gave me a game for my birthday. A fun little
That's
MTV
appropriate.
music game,
All right.
and we ended up playing that, and we'll share that with you a little bit later.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, man, it was pretty chill, and it's not the big 5-0 yet, so I don't feel so over the hill and ready to be put out to pasture. I did write a blog, so check it out. By the time this airs on the YouTubes, it'll be up on our website. So check out our website, check out our blog.
There's some great blogs that you put up there too. There's
Oh,
some
thank
good-
you,
some
as
good
you
stuff.
will, sir.
Oh, well, thank you.
So yeah, I mean, I feel older. I don't feel old. It seems weird to be in that place where your age of retirement is closer
Oh.
than your high school graduation, right? So I'm closer to retiring than I am going backwards to my high school graduation, which seems odd to me. But at the same time, I'm comfortable with where I'm at in my life. I've got a great life. I've got a great family and stuff like that. Good friends and good times and enjoying stuff. So 49 is not a bad age, and
All right.
happy to be here.
Yeah, and I think we're all just kids that eventually get old, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some
Nobody's gotta
people
figure it
that
out.
were never kids and they were always old. But
That's
I try to
true.
be a kid at heart. And yeah, there's times, I overdo it and I'm a little sore the next morning and stuff. There's stuff I can't do that I did when I was in my
Did you have
20s.
Did you have cake?
Oh, we did have cake. We went to
Ooh.
cake
Yum.
shop in Burien. I'm trying to Cafe
Alright.
Nouveau or something like that.
All right.
Excellent cake. Got a sampling of a few different ones. So
Oh, nice.
very
That's just
nice.
one kind of
Very
cake.
nice. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, here, I think you need to make a wish
Oh, okay.
and blow out the candle.
You got to do it the COVID.
The COVID
style
way.
Yeah,
Well
can't blow
done.
on it because I don't want to give
Well
out
done.
the germs and stuff. So
There we
smoke
go.
alarms are going to go off. Everybody, production
Happy
assistants, be careful.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thanks, man.
All right. Yes. Happy birthday. If you want to send presents, send them to Charles.
Always willing to take present. Cash is
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Or just go buy a bunch of our games.
Amazon, you can buy a bunch of our games.
Yeah. We had our first sale on our new seller account.
We did, yeah.
That was exciting today.
Yeah.
It happened today.
Yeah, thank you. I won't mention your name. I think it was Margaret.
What city?
I was just thinking about that. I think it's in California.
Oh, okay. It wasn't Kentucky.
Was it Canada?
I don't know.
It might be. I don't know.
I just like saying Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's a fun word.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
What else? Sober October is going strong.
Yeah?
8th day almost in the books.
Okay.
No booze. I've ran every day and done yoga every day.
Nice.
I failed on my nicotine though. I'm here
Uh-oh.
to announce I failed that on day 1.
Okay.
I was asked to give an impromptu presentation to my boss's boss and kind of freaked out and fell back on the nicotine.
Okay.
This is my nemesis. Everything else I'm good.
Do you have a plan to knock that off, or is it just, you know what?
I'm kind of in a give up space now.
Okay.
We'll see. Maybe by the end of the month I'll come up with something new, but I've got a lot of work stuff going on and
Yeah.
the schools. I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to put that on my plate right now, but someday.
It's
I
hard,
will.
man.
I've quit. Quitting's easy. I've done that a bunch. It's the whole staying quit.
Stay quit.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah, staying on that wagon.
Yeah, indeed.
Right.
And there's a mystery. So if anybody's following our Instagram, you'll notice I'm counting up the miles I've ran and the minutes I've done yoga and the days I've had no booze, and there's a 4th one. And I'm getting that 100% too. So I'm 8 out of 31 days of mystery.
Okay.
I put myself up for a new secret challenge that I will share at the end of the month
Okay.
that I've been sticking to.
All right.
So, mystery challenge forthcoming.
Mystery challenge.
Yes.
And he's the only one that accepted it, so.
Yeah, right.
Wait. Challenge accepted.
Yeah, indeed. But I'm being honest. I'm an honest person. I failed on this. I'm telling you, this is an honest challenge. I'm tracking accurately.
Yeah, no, dude, for just somebody that's not a big workout guy and stuff, and just, you know, being able to do those things that you're doing, and just to put your foot down and to get going on it is great. So congratulations to you. Keep it up.
Oh, thank you.
Day 8. Right?
Day 8. Yeah, I already got my yoga and my run in today, so
Nice.
as long as I don't drink anything before I go to bed, everything's going to be all good. We already did the news, so.
We did the news,
yeah.
and we had our water and
Yeah.
our Dunce Cap game cups. So
What else? We started playing that Access Now Eyes game. That also happened.
we did, yes.
We got together
yeah.
last Friday.
And we got through 2 full rounds.
Yep.
Kyle as the Axis and
Yeah.
me as the Allies.
Indeed. So I'm Germany and Italy and Japan.
And I am the United States, America. I am UK, which includes Canada and India, and I'm also Anzac, which is New Zealand and Australia. And I'm the Chinese.
And don't forget
Battling
about
Japanese.
the Ruskies. Did you mention the
Oh,
Ruskies?
yes, I did not mention
The
Russia. I'm
Ruskies.
Mother Russia. So,
Mother Russia.
man, don't mess with me. I've got some
Yeah.
powerhouses.
Yeah, and so far, you know, we're 2 rounds in, so that means each country's gone twice, and it feels pretty even.
It does right now.
Yeah, Japan went a little haywire and attacked everyone right out of the get-go.
And then you had Germany attack
Yes.
Russia
Germany
right out the
went a
get-go. So generally, and I played this game a few times, and you've played this game
Yeah.
several times, you know, there's some weight there. There's a few
Build up.
years that need to go by where America's building up and Japan's kind of building up, and Russia's trying to do what it can to build up, and Germany's
Russia's still
amassing.
allied with Germany. Like, Russia's giving
Yeah.
Germany wheat.
Not
but
anymore, not in
no,
our world.
Not in our world.
Not in our little map.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah.
at war, so
And we have a very scary standoff in the Pacific. America has built an insane amount of battleships and boats, and Japan is just looking at them out across the Pacific going, what do we do about that? Well, we don't know yet. But we thought, go ahead then.
No, I was going to say, in our world, Pearl Harbor didn't happen.
No.
They attacked the Philippines and brought us into the war, so
Yep.
here we go.
Yeah, and so what we thought we'd do is we made a little kind of time-lapse segment to show you how the game's progress so far.
Yeah.
Thought we could take you into that next.
Yeah,
and,
check it out. It's pretty cool.
Catch you on the other side.
All right.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a blowin' reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next day the cap went out and drafted a band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A toot, a toot, a tooty-lad, a tooty blows it eight to the bar. In boogie rhythm, he can't blow a note unless the bass and guitar is playing with him. He makes the company jump when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He was a boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. And when he plays boogie woogie bugle, he was busy as a buzz bee. And when he plays, he makes the company jump eight to the bar. He's a boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. Do 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 da da do da da do do. He blows it eight to the bar. He can't blow a note if the bass and guitar isn't with him. And the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's a boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B.
We meet and the angels sing. The angels sing the sweetest song I ever heard. You speak and the angels sing. Or am I reading music into every word? Suddenly the setting is strange. I can see water and moonlight beaming, silver waves that break on some undiscovered shore. Then suddenly I see it all.
And we're back.
And I ran.
I ran so far away.
Couldn't get away. Yeah.
But how about that? So that's a pretty cool game, huh?
That's a pretty
It's a
cool
big
game.
one.
And,
It's a
and
big one.
I'm excited about finishing. I mean, we've started a lot of Access and LA games, and it's been
Yes.
sort of hard to finish because it does take usually like a weekend, right?
Yeah.
So if we get together for a couple hours a week, I mean, this could take a month or so
Uh-huh.
to get through.
And we'll keep the updates coming.
Yeah, we'll just update you every week and when we play and all that good stuff. And
You can send us any tips, or if you're a fan of the good guys or the bad guys.
yeah, give me some good tips to crush the Germans or crush the Japanese. But I think I'm doing pretty good. We'll
Yeah,
see. I mean,
indeed.
it's round by round, and it's what rolls you get.
Yeah, the rolls, man, the
Yeah.
impact. Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of games, so my son
Mm-hmm.
and his girlfriend came over for a little birthday party, and they brought a
Okay.
game, and then we actually played it, and it's
MTV.
called MTV, the Throwback Music Party Game.
Oh, fun.
So it was kind of cool. It takes you through the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s for music.
All right.
And there's different categories for all the different gameplay, and we'll throw up a couple pictures.
I missed
on
that logo and that animation.
I
It
know.
was such a part of my
I
childhood.
want my
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
So
fun.
it's got a little timer on
Oh,
there.
those are tapes.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to use these stickers, so I'll have to do that on the next
All
time
right.
we play. But it's
Those are
got a
some
little board. It's
fun
kind of
little
a little
components.
fun.
Yeah.
So you would take a few cards, and you would take 6 of them. So I'm just going to take a random few here, and I've got Shania Twain, Snoop Dogg, Bowling for Soup, Beastie Boys, and Alien Ant Farm, right?
All right.
So then I would pick 3 out of the 6 to keep.
Right.
This is kind of a very condensed rule, so I'm going to go
Right.
Beastie Boys because I know Beastie Boys. And then what you would do, and you can look at the screen, we'll put up the pictures, but
Uh-huh.
you can do like lyrics, you can do one word, and you can do perform. And your partner doesn't know how it goes, and you set the timer, you click the timer, turn the timer on, you click the timer, and it's going to give you a
Alright.
countdown about 30 seconds that you have to guess.
Is that the kind of charades, these things? A little
Kind
bit?
of charades. So
Okay.
one word is, I can give you one word on Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
So I would probably say shiznizzle, and then you would say
Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, right?
Yeah.
And then on the lyrics portion, on the Beastie Boys, let me think about this. Let me pretend I got the Tupac, because I did this on the
Alright,
game we
alright.
played. But on the lyrics, I have to speak the lyrics instead of singing them.
Like
So-
monotone?
Monotone. Yeah, so if I got Snoop Dogg or Tupac, I would be like, I've got keys coming from overseas. Cost me 200 G's. I'm a street commando. Nino, for example. This lavish lifestyle is hard to handle, right? And then I could say, picture me rolling. And then you would say, oh, Snoop Dogg, or you would say Tupac, right? And we get the points, right?
I see no changes.
And
All I see is racist faces.
exactly. Perfect. And then on the perform for Shania Twain, the only song I really know of hers is probably "Feel Like a Woman," right? You either have to hum it or you have to kind of scat it, right? You can't sing it, so you'd be like, and then you'd have to guess from that.
That's
so it was,
tough.
it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
The interesting part is me and my wife are about the same age, and my son is kind of that millennial generation,
Uh-huh.
and so 80s and most of the 90s music, right over their heads. Even some of the early 2000s stuff, they just didn't know. So
Alien
a
Ant
little
Farm
bit
be pushing
different. The only song I know by Alien Ant Farm is actually the remake of
The Michael Jackson
of the
song,
Michael
right?
Jackson song, Smooth
Yeah.
Criminal. So anyway, check it out. It's a fun little game. I'm not sure where
Yeah.
they got it. It's probably a Target type game. But if you
Oh,
love
fun.
music and you're looking for a quick little party game, and you've played Soup to Nuts 50 times in a row, and it's a
Exactly.
little different.
Got it. Maybe your parents are coming over.
Maybe your parents are
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
over and you can't play, then grab it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, who makes it? What's the company?
Oh, it's Big Potato. What is
Big
it?
Potato.
Big Potato Games.
Big Potato Games. All
Yeah,
right.
they've got a few games out that I've seen. Mostly
Gotta
party
cost a lot of money to license the MTV stuff.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta build that into your margin somehow.
But speaking of, 80s music
Yes.
and MTV and all that stuff, Kyle, do you want to play a little Crazy 8?
It's time for Crazy 8. What are we doing tonight,
Yeah.
Travis?
Well, kind of fitting this theme of the night and sticking with kind of the 80s music, and one big news story that we'll get to maybe after this.
Oh, yeah.
We compiled our favorite 80s bands. And now 80s bands, you kind of have to take with a grain of salt because like Nirvana and Mudhoney and those guys started in the 80s, but they're kind of more known for the 90s, right?
Yeah.
And U2 started in the 80s, and they're kind of a multi-decade,
That's a
year
good point.
career. But maybe they're still well known in the 80s. So I tried to kind of think of this as bands that you would think of when you're in the 80s.
Gotcha.
Right?
I went more of like bands that got big or started in the 80s.
Okay, yeah, that's
if-
kind of where I was.
If they had a
thinking.
hit song in the 80s, that's kind of
Yeah.
how I look
I mean,
at
like
it.
The Who would be known as a 60s, 70s arena rock band, but they had a couple of hits in the 80s too.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't
yeah.
consider them like an 80s band,
Yeah.
right? So,
I'm curious to see if we have what kind of crossover we have too.
yeah, so
It'll be
for me,
interesting.
Kyle, I'm a big music lover. We both are.
Uh-huh.
Huge, and there's so many different genres and so many different bands that I love. What I did is I just thought, okay, think 80s, and then I wrote down a whole bunch of different bands, and then I just kind of sorted out maybe my top 8 out of that. There's some for some reasons and some for other reasons, and we'll
All right.
get into that as we go. But do you want to kick us off?
Yeah,
Number 8? Kyle,
all
what's
right.
your number 8?
My number 8 is John Bon Jovi. His power anthems just hit me in a spot sometimes. I'm like, hey, living on a prayer! Yeah!
So Living on a Prayer, that album came out when I was a sophomore in high school.
All
and
right.
It played constantly when we were in the weight room, all pumping
Oh.
iron as young,
Yeah.
ugly high school boys. So
Yeah.
if you're into that, get your rocks off. But
Indeed.
my number 8, kind of in the same vein, is Def Leppard.
Oh.
Big time
Yeah.
80s band, man. Pour Some Sugar on Me, and Pyromania, and Photograph, and all that stuff. The videos.
I
the
think of
music.
when I first think of them.
Yeah.
One-armed drummer.
Uh,
That's what pops into my head first.
Amazing though that
Yeah, that's how
they
they
didn't
do
want to
that.
continue the band unless that
Yeah.
drummer could come along too.
Yeah,
so,
it's pretty
interesting
cool.
stuff,
They
Yeah.
made- and he had pedals like crazy. To
Yeah.
All right, my number 7 is similar vein, the Motley Crue.
Okay.
Similar vein.
I
love their.
I had the
jams.
Motley Crue in my top 8 and they got bumped. So
Ah.
I'm with you, man.
They
Motley
almost made it.
Crue, kind of the godfathers of the glam scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another badass drummer personality.
Yeah, definitely
Gotta
so.
give it.
Well, my number 7 is a band headed by Morrissey called The Smiths.
Oh.
And kind of very 80s feel to them. Kind of a melancholy, jingly guitars. Johnny Marr's guitars were just amazing and all that stuff, and Morrissey's voice. I didn't get a chance to see the Smiths live, but I did see Morrissey back in like 91, 92 when he came to Seattle.
All
Just
right.
Great stuff.
Nice. Well, my number 6 are the Guns N' Roses.
Okay, I've got Guns N' Roses at number 4.
Right. I remember listening to them in grade school.
Okay.
And it being like naughty, like it's not
Yeah.
I shouldn't be listening to these guys, but I
Yeah,
could've-
Guns N' Roses came out and really kind of killed that glam rock,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The Poisons and the Warrants,
Yeah.
they came in and said, "Nope,
Exactly.
we're
Ripped jeans.
taking
just
over." Yeah, just
rag.
yeah. I mean, just hard rock at its
And
best.
a slash hat. Maybe I'll
And
call
a
this a
slash
slash
hat.
hat. Well, it's
Kind
not
of a-
tall enough.
Yeah, it's kind of a
Yeah.
slash minor.
Yeah, indeed, indeed.
All right. Well, my number 6 is another hard rocker.
All right.
Is Metallica, man.
Oh, yeah.
The Ride the Lightning album came out. The Master of Puppets album came out. Me and my friends were just big time into that, just
Yeah.
banging our heads. Great stuff.
That guitar player is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I remember reading something about how he studied with a classical guitar trainer
Yeah.
to improve his metal.
Yeah.
My number 5 is another guitar legend, Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray
Oh,
Vaughan.
nice. Yeah.
Love those blues.
Yeah.
The way that guy.
And he was real big in the 80s. That was when he hit his
Yeah.
heyday, right? Died in
Yeah.
the helicopter crash
Yeah.
around 89-ish, something like that. Yeah.
And he was a bright flash that went out quick, but
Yeah.
really good
Yeah.
group.
Awesome guy. My number 5 is Mr. Ozzy Osbourne, who I think kind of came. I mean, he was big in Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath was a huge band. Then Ozzy goes solo, grabs Randy Rhoads, comes out with Crazy Train, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Super huge. So the 13-year-old, 14-year-old boy in me, Ozzy is
that man could sing, sing too. Like he's got pipes.
Yeah,
he can belt it out. All right, my number 4 is taking us a little away from rock, but still kind of rocky. The Beastie Boys.
Okay,
they're kind of 80s to me. They were pretty big in the 90s, but they
got Fight for Your Right to Party. That came out
Ill,
like
that
86, something like that.
Yeah, it was like
somewhere
mid
in
to late 80s.
Yeah.
And I loved those songs. So I didn't really get into them until like the 90s, but they came out in the 80s.
Yeah. Okay, well, my number 4 gone by already. It was Guns N' Roses.
All right.
My number 3 is your very first post-punk band before punk rock was even big. Was the Talking Heads, or just Talking Heads.
Oh,
You know, David Byrne and Burning Down the House and all that stuff. They started in like '77, had some minor success, but they really hit their stride in the '80s and some great albums.
Yeah. My number 3 is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Nice.
They're 80s group, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, late '70s, but really had some huge hits in the '80s, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just the songwriting and just, so good.
Yeah. My number 2 is kind of going back to that synth feel, that '80s feel, more gothic, but The Cure. Robert Smith and The Cure.
They're still good.
These are bands that I can still turn on today and just groove, no problem. Listen to them all the time. Yeah.
My number 2, I had to go with the King of Pop. I went with Michael.
Michael.
Because he was such a...
Yeah, I mean, I love Michael Jackson. I have to say it. Don't like the idea that he might have done what they accuse him of doing, but
he made good music.
Made great music. My number 1 is The Replacements, man.
I know you
started
love
out
that.
as punk rock.
Replacements.
Paul Westerberg kind of turned it into more poppy sound, so I love both dynamics, but a great band.
Indeed. Good group, indeed. My number 1 is a band I've loved forever, AC/DC.
AC/DC, yeah. I mean, the Back in Black album, and then going forward, Thunderstruck and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any better than that for hard rock.
They never changed their sound.
All right. Kyle, let's take a break, and we'll come back and take these guys out of here.
Indeed.
Doesn't matter.
Never ever. Not today. No way. And we're back.
Oh!
Surprise!
Surprise! We're back.
Indeed. And neither one of us mentioned a particular band in our Crazy Eights.
That I think would be on well in that top 8
Absolutely.
of the 80s for both of us. Yeah, maybe even my number 1. If we had mentioned, but we wanted to save a special spot for it.
We did. I listened to these guys on a lot of ski trips. They were always one of my go-to, like, pump you up songs, and just one of those guitar gods that I think everybody was like, what? What's he doing?
This is, road trips. It's cruising around Broadway in hot rods and mom's car, just blasting, Fair Warning, and their second album, first album, all the way up. And one special memory I have is when their 1984 album came out. MTV was going to run the Jump video, which was the first one. And I remember my sister and my brother and some of our friends. We had MTV at our house. Not all of the kids did, but we were all sitting around waiting for hours. For it's coming up, we promise. And we would sit and watch, and commercial after commercial, and it finally came on, and we were just like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. Which was, I think, the best album of the David Lee Roth era, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, obviously, we're talking about
Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen in the band Van Halen.
R.I.P., good sir. R.I.P.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for what you gave us.
It's kind of weird for me because I've always kind of felt like Eddie might have been the reason that Van Halen is not still playing very much. Kind of kicked Dave out of the band, kicked Sammy out of the band. I think actually Dave probably got a big enough ego that he kind of went out on his own, and maybe they just clashed, kind of a thing.
Creative differences or something.
you've heard more from Sammy. So I guess it's the squeaky wheel that kind of gets the grease, right? So Sammy and Dave have been talking about it.
He was, wasn't he in a band? Isn't he in a band now? Like some kind of Mexican beach band?
Yeah, he's got his Wabareros band or something like that.
Okay, I'm thinking of something else.
He's also in a band called Chickenfoot with Michael Anthony, the bassist of Van Halen, and Steve Vai and a couple other guys.
All right.
Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers and stuff like that. Sammy's also got another band. I don't remember what they're called, but he was in Montrose before. Then he's had a pretty prolific solo career. Yeah. He's written hit songs for many artists, including like Rick Springfield and a bunch of other people. So I mean, Sammy's been around a long time. But
well, and Eddie was only 63, I think.
63 or 65.
Yeah,
something like that,
he wasn't
right?
that old.
No.
Do we know? I don't even know how he passed. Was it just
cancer?
Oh yeah, cancer. Oh.
Fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Hashtag that.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, horrible news to hear because these are like your childhood heroes, right?
Yeah.
So,
how are the Rolling Stones still going?
Keith Richards. How the F are you still alive, dude?
We're losing.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Eddie.
Yeah,
you're the top of our list, especially when it comes to '80s bands and just all that stuff. So
yeah.
Well,
I think we're close to the end here. We got, obviously, we're going to shoot for episode 7 next week.
Yes.
I'll be 7 more days sober.
Okay.
So if I start getting really nice-looking skin, you'll have to keep yourself off of me. These liver spots start going away.
Nice-looking skin. A little less red in the nose.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. I think we'll do another In the Kitchen next week. I've got
awesome.
some nice fall things to share with you guys.
I've been craving chimichurri since last week.
Oh, you better make some.
I better make some. I need to just do it.
Do it, man.
Yeah.
We might get another round of Axis and Allies in at some point.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I think we should try and do that if we can.
To figure out our weekend or evening situation coming up.
See what's going on.
So we can share it with you guys.
Chitlins and the whatnots.
Yeah, for sure. That's it. Seahawks on Sunday.
Yeah, go Hawks.
Back and discuss that.
5-0.
There's not another debate before we film again, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of stuff to talk about. There always is.
Indeed.
So
with that, I'm Kyle McCurdy.
I'm not.
Good night to you.
Good night, everybody. Practice more. That's what that tells me.